Guys, here's Thorsten. I hope you're doing well, and today's the day. The moving of the parts from my old case into the NZXT Manta as announced in my unboxing video. And so you see I've already taken off the side panels and the front panel, and I actually already installed the two 3.5 inch drives. I will be making some room on my desk, and after that I'll see you in a bit, and then we're ready to get right into the grind. Okay guys, I'm back, and as you can see I've cleaned up my desk, put on an old mouse pad, so if I move the case around on the desk it will not get scratched, and let's get into it. Starting this build, actually, I have to admit, it took me a couple of days to get myself into the mode, because just my system was running so well, and I didn't feel like putting in the time and the effort to just move the stuff into a new case. But like I said, I didn't like my old case anymore, and I had already bought the new case. But definitely the motivation was low, because usually when you build a new machine, you want to get it up and running, but for this time, like I said, it was just moving the parts, so my motivation was already low. But then as I kept going, actually I really enjoyed it, because also this is one of the first builds I actually recorded. You might have seen we just started our YouTube channel 2 weeks ago, and I was kind of pumped to make a video out of this build. So here you see me disassembling the old case, or taking out the parts of the old case. Of course there's not much problems here. It's just like being careful not to damage anything, but you don't have to think too much, because it's just pulling out the cables, etc. And that phase was still pretty much okay. Alright guys, if you see, I took off the CPU cooler obviously, and the cooling paste is still remaining on the CPU. I will be replacing the old paste with new paste, because after a while, after a couple of months, the paste usually tends to dry out a little bit. I'm not sure really if it affects the cooling of the CPU cooler, but in the end I think it's better if you replace it. Alright, just wanted to show you that quickly. I also kind of want to address the question I've been asked by a lot of friends who wanted to buy their own PC, and that is if they should actually build their own PC or get a complete system. And my answer to this is usually that, you know, if they are tech savvy and they have some experience with other technology, it's fine to build your own PC. There are dozens of guides in the internet, and putting the parts together is actually not that difficult at all. There are a couple of quirks here and there you have to actually really put your thoughts in, and in the end it is a matter of time, because if it is your first build, you're gonna be spending probably 2 days, because each step you will be reading the manual, and especially when it comes to, you know, the cabling for the motherboard, you will be looking into every step. The other problem, however, is if there's a problem, and these days actually there are not many problems with the hardware anymore. I mean, I remember 10 years ago if you bought cheap memory, for instance, there was a good chance that the memory was buggy and your system started crashing. But these days the manufacturing processes are so perfect, so there's no real problem on that part anymore. But there is a possibility, and in that case, definitely if you have it's your first build, you most likely will have a huge problem, because you will have no idea where to actually start looking for the bug. And then if you have a friend, of course, who has a similar architecture, you can start exchanging components, and then you will be able to track down the part that causes the problem. But if you don't, you will end up going back to the store and pay for the service charge, and they will take care of your system and eventually build it for you. So yeah, if you're not experienced with building your own systems, I highly recommend for a lot of people just to order it in the stores. But having said that, it is a lot of fun if you do it yourself. It is painful. I mean, usually you spend at least half of the day, but you know, firstly, it is a lot of fun, because you know, you can see how your system grows over the couple of hours you're building it, and then in the end you also save a lot of money. You can order the parts from Amazon or some of the retailers, some of the internet shops, and they definitely offer the parts for a much cheaper price. So if you're considering to build your own PC, have those things in mind and make your decision.
Well guys, so like in my old case, I used to use the extension cable for the power cord for the main board, and so this time I was actually thinking, because I'm using a mini ITX case, the cable would be long enough, but I think it's like 2 centimeters too short, which kind of sucks. So I gotta go out and buy a new cable. It's just a little bit longer. It doesn't matter really, because I have to go out and buy some new cooling paste anyway, because I just realized that there was nothing left anymore. And so I'll have a quick break and see you after I got the power cord and the cooling paste. Alright, so I tried to get the longer power cords, but unfortunately the stores only had extension cables, which I already had before. So unfortunately, I'm gonna use again my extension cords. I mean, it's not too bad, because basically the cables are hidden all under that PSU cover anyway. But you know, my OCD kicked in, and it would have been nice if I can actually have one neat-looking cable. But it is what it is now at the moment. I'm probably gonna order new cables on Amazon and exchange them later, but at the moment I'm just gonna deal with the extension cords. Alright, let's get into it.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing you want to consider when building your own machine, is basically, do you have a shop nearby that sells PC parts? Because it often happens that you realize you want, you know, some fan or a cable, and if you live in the middle of nowhere, you will end up just ordering the cable, and then you lose a day basically. In my case, obviously the store is nearby, so I could just go to the store and pick up the cable. Well, or at least try to.
Alright, I actually thought first I would keep the fans, the case fans that came with the case, But firstly, I got the dark silent fans, which are really like rubberized and high quality. They're very silent, and I just realized that the fans that came with the case are 12 centimeters and the ones I got are 14 centimeters. So I'm definitely gonna replace those. There's enough room in the case for 14 centimeter fans, and usually the bigger fans have a better airflow, so I'm gonna be using those.
Case fans are really a hidden cost when it comes to building your own machine, because you know, good fans are so much better than the stock fans usually that come with a case. For this NZXT, I had thought the fans are actually okay, but then once I took a closer look and I compared them to my DS Silent, there was no way I was gonna use those, and I ended up replacing them, which was a good choice. But factor that in, another $100 usually gives you some good fans that have a much better performance and run more silent than the stock fans. Also, definitely make sure that you can speed control the fans either with the motherboard, or if you for some reason have so many fans in your case that the pins on the motherboard are not sufficient, get a fan controller. You can put in the 5 1/4 inch slot of your case, because otherwise if all the fans are running on the highest speed settings, your rig is going to be loud.
Alright guys, so we have a small time lapse, so I installed just a few things without the camera. Actually, I had to recharge the battery, so anyway, not much happened. The only thing I actually did is install the rear fan and 2 or 3 SATA cables and the hard drive actually. So it's looking good at the moment. The only thing is, I just realized I forgot to buy the cooling paste, so I have to go one more time to the store and actually buy the cooling paste. Okay, this build is actually taking way longer than I actually expected. So like I said, I had to go back to the store and get the cooling paste. And I also realized that the fan controller needs a power supply, obviously. And I had to get it an adapter cable from the normal, from this power connector to a SATA power connector. So I forgot the cooling paste earlier, but I would have had to go to a shop again anyway, so it wasn't too bad. So, alright. This is probably the part of the building where a lot of people might be wondering how much paste they actually put on the CPU. I usually put around this amount of paste on the CPU, and then I take a tissue and smear the paste over the CPU. So the pressure of the CPU is usually not enough to equally distribute the paste over the CPU. So it's better if you do it manually first and then put the CPU cooler on the CPU. And so you make sure that really all the parts of the CPU are covered. This time I bought a nano paste. Was the best one that store had to offer. They told me it is the most efficient one and the most popular one in the store. Well, I got that one, and it's kind of the consistency of the paste is quite thick. They said it's not prone to dry very quickly. It's more of a very thick gel. But either way.
So in the end I got the cooling paste, but literally after coming back from the store the first time, the moment I arrived home, I was like, no, I forgot the cooling paste. But well, it wasn't too bad. The store is 15 minutes walk from my home, and well, it was a good exercise in between just sitting there and building the case. I have a small skip here now in the video. As you see, I'm putting here already, I've already connected the system. The first attempt to turn it on, everything worked perfectly. Here I'm just attaching the side panels and finishing the build, but yeah, everything worked out fine.
I've installed everything. I finished all the cabling and etc. on the desk. As you see, everything is tidied up. I have rearranged some of the stuff here on the desk. You see my snakes are on the screen now. And the Star Wars gadgets. Well, General Grievous is still at his usual spot, but we got him here over there next to the case, guarding the case. But let me show you the case. So you see, I'm so happy with the build. It worked out better than I imagined. The side panel is super clear, so you see the internals of the case very, very clearly. Yeah, I mean, the cabling is all mostly on the other side, hidden behind the PSU cover, and inside the case you actually almost see no cabling at all. So it's a little bit difficult to see, I think, because the side panel is quite reflective. Let's get back a little bit, and so this is the final build. That's how it looks, and the components are still the same. I put them back into the description, the details in the description, if you want to know what kind of components I'm rocking. But yeah, all in all, the build took me way longer than I actually expected. I was hoping to get everything done within 4 to 5 hours, but then I had to go to the store for two times and took a couple of breaks, but yeah, I'm very happy with how it turned out to be. Okay guys, again, thank you for watching, and I hope I see you in the next video.